Well, welcome back to the channel. I know it's been a little bit since we've recorded a video, but today we have quite a bit of stuff going on. So I just came back from Alberta and we did make a couple purchases here. We have a few game bundles, we have some consoles. I already got rid of the Nintendo Switch, but we do have some games. Now, most of this stuff is already listed. I think this bundle of games is all listed. I have a few more in there that isn't listed, but mainly, I'm going to be listing the controllers, the consoles, because I didn't have the right equipment to go and test everything while I was away. But we're also going to be packing orders. We have over 37 orders to go ahead and pack up today. And I knew this wouldn't fit in a YouTube short, so I wanted to go ahead and make a full-length video for you guys. We have about $900 worth of sales there. But like I said, we also sold the Nintendo Switch for $180. So we're sitting at over $1,000 of orders that we need to go ahead and get shipped out as well. But I did go ahead and restart this PlayStation 4. I basically bought this bundle just not knowing if anything was going to work. It was basically parents selling their kids stuff. They're like, we don't know what works. It was $125 for all of these games you'll see in there. And there is a couple expensive ones I can show you in a bit. We had an original Xbox One, we had a PS3, we had two Xbox 360s. Now, I did test both of these. This one does have the red ring of death, and this front cover was actually cracked. So I do have it. It must have fallen off in the box, actually, but I basically took the cover off this one and put it on this one and made one good console that we'll go ahead and list. But the PlayStation 4, this is obviously, well, maybe not the most expensive console the original Xbox might be, but this is a pretty good one. And I turned it on and it basically said that it couldn't boot. So we do have an update file here, and I'm really hoping that we can go ahead and get this console to work, because this would be just a massive value. You know, I don't need this console to work to get my money back, but this would be a massive bonus. We have a couple good games in there, and I mean just a lot of games as well. And I think the original Xbox is going to sell pretty quickly as well. But if we can go ahead and get a working PS4 out of this bundle, I would be super, super happy. So I'm going to go ahead and let that finish up, and hopefully that'll works. But like I said, we also do have a lot of orders to go ahead and pack up. We had quite a few controllers come from this bundle as well. This one I haven't been able to test. I just can't test them on my computer, unfortunately, to make sure there's no dead zone or anything. I did plug it into the Xbox 360 and it worked fine, but there is a little bit of slop in that joystick, so I want to make sure there is no drift. I just don't have a great way of testing it. But we did list a few controllers last night. We have this gold PS4 controller we listed for $50, and this red PS3 controller we listed for like $22, just because there is like the slightest amount of stick drift there. And I ended up listing this one for parts because I don't want people to get it, assume it's going to be fully functional, and then want to return it. I literally just had that happen like 3 days ago. Some guy in Mexico bought a controller that I said there was damage to it, but it did work. Basically, there was no rubber on the joysticks, and the controller worked. I did all the testing. I used the software. There's no stick drift or anything, and he wanted to return it, but return shipping is like $70. So I just went ahead and issued a refund. But here we have this. Oh my goodness. Okay, this might be working. I did try a different update file earlier, but this is like the complete wipe file. It's about a gigabyte big. There is a smaller update file that I tried first, which is only like 400 megabytes. That didn't seem to work, but I'm hoping that this console is going to boot after this. We'll have to go and look. In the same bundle here, we have a few more 360 controllers. You can see that one's missing the rubber. I think they're pretty much all missing the backings on them. So I haven't decided what I'm going to do with these. I can order a bundle of backings for fairly cheap. But the only issue is shipping. So there's a site that I get a lot of cases from and console parts from. It's called XYAB, but it's just expensive shipping to Canada. So I like to do, a couple $100 in items before I pay for shipping. And I mean, these controller backers are not going to be very expensive. I'm definitely going to spend more in shipping than I would on the backings for the controller. So I'm not sure if I'm going to just list them like this, test them and kind of see, make sure they work. But again, I don't have a great way of testing and making sure there's no stick drift or anything. So I'm not quite sure what I'm going to go ahead and list those at. I probably won't do that in today's video. I think today's video is mainly going to be packing the orders and getting these consoles tested. Okay, so starting off, we actually sold 3 out of the 5 Switch games that I got from the bundle. Basically, I got a Nintendo Switch, I got Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu, and I also got a Mario game. My cousin's actually borrowing it right now. But we sold these three. We sold Super Smash Bros. Ultimate for $55. We have Street Fighter for $40. And we have Wario for $30. These are all going to different buyers, and these sold so quickly. I think I bought the bundle less than a week ago, and we've already sold 3 of the games and the consoles. So I do try to look for Switch games and bundles as often as I can, but people are just always asking so high for them, and it's because they're always just worth a lot. But we will go ahead and get these 3 packed up. To show you guys the bundle here. So we paid $300, and we have already got back so 180 from that, 48 from that, 36 and 63. So we are doing pretty good. We still have 11 items listed. A lot of them are amiibos, but then we also have those 2 games, and then we also have a case for the Switch as well, which I haven't sold yet, but this is turning out to be a pretty good bundle. All 3 of the Switch games packaged up and ready to go. And if we take a look over here, you can see we're $30 away from breaking even on this bundle. I knew that it wasn't going to be the most amount of profit, but I knew stuff was going to move fast. So we still have 11 items for sale. We have a lot of those amiibos, but we also have a $52 Pokemon game, a $47 Super Mario Odyssey game, and an $18 carrying case. So I do still think we're going to make a good amount of profit, but it's not going to be double my money or anything like that. I can't believe it, but I actually don't have any more PS4 controllers. This is the only one, and this one is sold. So I will pack this up later today, but this isn't quite finished installing, so I just want to make sure this console works before I ship that out. So we will get to that later, but these controllers have been doing really good. The ones in the bags that are actually 4 parts, like they're bundled together, so there's a few of them in there. I think I'm going to go and reduce the price. I have a few PS3 controllers there that are broken. I think I was asking like $100 for 8 controllers. I'm going to go and lower that quite a bit because I just want to move it, and I didn't really know what to price it at to begin with. Sorry, it was actually 6 controllers for $100. So I think we're going to go and reduce this by quite a bit. The working controllers have been selling quite well, and I don't want to be sitting on broken controllers for too long. So let's go and list it at like $70. We should still make a good amount of profit. I mean, they're broken controllers. That's like what, $11 each. When they're working, they sell for about $30. So if someone did want to go ahead and fix them up, there is some profit to be made, but I want to go and move them as quick as possible. Now, this is the bundle that I'm not quite finished listing yet, but you can see we do have some good ones. We have 50 Cent Bulletproof, Need for Speed Carbon. There is a few Need for Speed games. We have Underground 2. What else? Whatever. There's a couple good games in here. I think I have like 8 left to list, but we did actually sell one within less than a day. This is Star Wars The Force Unleashed Steelbook Edition, and this one is going all the way over to the UK. They did buy, or they paid the international shipping program, so I actually don't have to ship this to Ontario, and then eBay will ship it the rest of the way. But yeah, this sold for $13 in like, what, 8 hours after me listing it, so I'm pretty happy about this sale. In all my game listings, in the condition description and also the regular description, I make sure to say that any codes in the box may have already been redeemed, especially when it's limited editions like this, when it says Ultimate Sith Edition, just in case there was like a DLC code or something in here that, you know, may already be used. I don't want to go ahead and, you know, have the buyer expect a unused code in there and then them want to return it for that reason. So I do make sure to say any codes may be already used, but I don't think this one came with it. This is kind of the shipping supply closet. We do have a lot of white envelopes in there, but I did run out of those ones, and the only things that I could get like next day on Amazon Prime were these teal ones. So we do have a few more down there to go and use, so let's go ahead and ship this one in the teal envelope. Never mind, the steelbook was too thick to fit in those envelopes, and we can't. The limit has to be under 250 grams, so we don't have enough weight to go and use a box, so we're just going to use this bigger bubble envelope. And I was wrong. It only took 6 hours to sell. It cost me $8.37 to go ahead and ship it, so we came up with a profit of $13.15. I haven't got all the games listed yet, so I didn't put a purchase price. Basically, what I do is once I have everything listed, I put it in this purchase location, and then I just go ahead and add up how many items there are, divided by the amount that I spent to get an even amount across all items. So, I mean, it's probably going to come out to, you know, maybe $1 each. So we're still looking at probably a $12 profit on this item. This is the storage room for all the comics. There are about 3 boxes that I couldn't fit in here. I think I am going to go ahead and get one more of these shelves. But we do have a pretty big comic order to go ahead and ship up here. And it's actually in this box. I did get a bunch of older comics. There's some G.I. Joe ones and stuff like that. And I think this order total came to like $60. Let's go ahead and grab them. So we have 5 comics here. The buyer did go ahead and apply my buy two get one coupon, which doesn't make a lot of sense because they could have added one more and got it completely for free, but this works for me as well. The most expensive one is actually G.I. Joe issue number 3, and this was the only one that wasn't in this box that I showed you guys before. This was in one of the first boxes. This was like the 100th comic I ever listed. This one sold for $21. The one that they got for free was only $6, and their order total still came to $55, and then I think they paid like another $12 in shipping, but just for the comics was $55. These multi-comic orders, I like these comic boxes. They actually work really well. They're fairly light as well. I just put a little bit of the honeycomb wrapping paper, and this is perfect. It covers the edge of the comic so they can't get bent or anything. And for this order, there wasn't as much profit as I thought there would be. You can see the buyer ended up paying $68 after taxes. But after buying the shipping label, eBay only paid me out $26. And that's kind of my mistake. The buyer ended up putting in a PO box, which means I am forced to use Canada Post. And for bigger orders like this, Canada Post isn't always the cheapest. So I think I am actually going to go and remove the option of putting a PO box, because I would have been able to ship this for like $11 instead of $17. So I would have saved a good amount of money there. But after all expenses, fees, you can see we're so much, $8 in ads, and then another $8.37 in other fees. We ended up coming out with a profit of $21.67. Well, here we got another amazing order. This buyer ended up picking up 11 comics. This was the most expensive one, being only $6. I did accept offers on a lot of these. Their order total did come to $75 though. And it's always nice to get rid of these cheaper comics. You know, most of these were anywhere from $4 to $6. And it feels really good to move these, and I can go ahead and ship them all tracked. I don't have to worry about any of them getting lost or anything like that. We'll go and throw this in a box and see how much money we can make, or how much profit we made on this one. Packed up, and it's just over 900 grams. And this is a perfect example why I don't really want to accept PO boxes. Canada Post was just under $20, and ICS is only $14. So we're gonna go and ship this through ICS. I ended up placing two separate orders. This first one, I ended up getting paid out $36.64. I didn't buy the label on here. I bought it through ClickShip. The other order was for like $20-ish, I think, but we ended up coming out with a $30.36 profit. Next up here, we actually have a pretty expensive comic. This one sold for $30 plus another $16 in shipping. This is just a cover variant, issue number 1, and I think we're going to be able to profit a little bit on shipping. So when I sell one book, or maybe even like up to 5 books, I'll ship them in these rigid envelopes, and then I'll use a little bit of extra cardboard to just make it a little bit more stiff. But for a $30 book, I really don't want to run the risk of even the corners getting bent, because I did mark this one as near mint. It's in very, very good shape. And these envelopes from eBay are about 70 cents. And these boxes that I've been shipping in, these are only about $1.20 on Amazon. So I think I'm going to spend the extra 50 cents and use this, and just make sure that this $30 comic gets there in good condition. Not bad at all. Cost us $8.37 to ship, giving us a profit of $24.53. One of the few movies that we sold was a sealed DVD. We have The Cell, and this one actually sold for $12. I don't sell many DVDs. Blu-rays, on the other hand, are a little bit more common, but even those I don't sell very often. Here I have a box of 100 PS1 clear cases. I actually have another box back there filled with another 100. I think we have like 220 left at the moment, but we did just sell 2 of them for $12, and it's only going to cost me about $2.50 in shipping. So we are looking at a good amount of profit for these. Okay, I was totally wrong with the figures. The buyer only paid $10.80, and it actually cost me $4.50 to ship, but we came out with a profit of $3.32 on those 2 cases. I only have a few of these full-size magazines, but this one did sell for $10. Next comic here, we have Warhammer 40,000, and this one sold for $16 plus another $5 in shipping. Just found a loose PS1 game, and this one sold for $5 plus shipping. Well, this isn't a great sign. I'm going to keep trying a few different things while I pack orders, but this console may just have to be sold for parts. We got so many hockey cards already listed. We did sell quite a few that we do have to go ahead and get packed up, but I think we have, 12,629 listed at the moment, which is crazy. It is very quick with my software. I could list 1,000 a day, but I'm just going to run out of eBay store listings. Right now with my current subscription, I pay $75 a month, and that gets me, I think, 50,000 listings. But Flipwise, which is the software that I've been showing you guys that tracks all my expenses and the ad fees and stuff like that, on the current plan that I'm on, it only goes up to 25,000. So I only have about 5,000 more listings that I'm allowed. So I don't want to go and fill it up with all hockey cards when I'm still buying games and comics and stuff like that. So I don't know how many more hockey cards I'll be listing until I have to go ahead and increase my subscription on Flipwise. So I got all the hockey card sales here, and these are the ones that sold. So most of these did sell for $2.70. That was my sale price, but the ones that are in top loaders sold anywhere from $5 to $8. This was the only one where the buyer actually picked up 2 of them. These are all individual orders. This buyer's total came to $9 with these 2 cards, but the profit margins on these cards are just insane. You know, I can buy these cards for about a penny each. The ones in the top loaders, I think I spent about 40 cents each, but I've made my money back already, and I've sold, I think, 7 of them, which is amazing. So we do have a lot of hockey cards still left to sell, but we are selling them pretty frequently and with really, really good margins. I think on, you know, a $2.70 card plus shipping, obviously, I think I make the same amount of money as if I sold a comic or a video game for $5 plus shipping. Just, you know, my average price for the video game may be anywhere from $1 to $2 each, and it works out to be roughly the same amount of profit, which is just kind of crazy to think about when I have this many of them. It's very quick to list. There's basically unlimited inventory on Facebook Marketplace. So I do want to go and scale up the hockey cards, but as I mentioned previously, it's just a matter of the amount of listings that I can currently have active. I haven't got those hockey cards all shipped out yet, but we did just get an offer for Toy Story Mania. This one has only been listed for, I think, less than 48 hours, and I was asking $9 for it, and I just accepted an offer for $7.50. Out of this bundle that I got back in Alberta, it's a bit of a weird sale. You know, it's so hard to sell these sports games, and this one sold within a day. NHL 14 for the Xbox 360 sold for $4.50, and I don't think it doesn't really even have a manual. This is just so odd. You know, sometimes these games sell so quickly, and sometimes they'll sit on the shelf forever. I mean, if we just look over here, how many copies of this game do I have? NHL 14 is there, and it's been sitting here for, oh, this one's not listed. Okay, so maybe, I don't know, maybe 14 is a little bit more expensive, but look at how many 13s, 12s, 10s, 11s, 8s. Like, we just have so many sports games, and for some reason, this one sold really quickly. So this exact same bundle here, we have NHL 09 sold. Like, again, just so weird. We have NHL 2K7 there. And then for listed ones, you can see we have NHL 06, 2K7, and 08. But I guess we didn't have 09. This is going to a different buyer and also sold for $4.50. And on the last one, we made like $1.50 profit, which, you know, isn't a lot, but I'm happy to get rid of these sports games. But like I said, I mean, we make more money on each card sale than we do on these. I mean, those card sales were anywhere from like $2.50 profit all the way up to like $3.50 profit. And that's not for the ones that are in top loaders. Top loaders are obviously a lot more expensive. But, you know, it does feel good to go ahead and get rid of some of these sports games. The orders are stacking up. Those are all the tracked packages that are going out. This is all the letter mail so far, and we still have like 15 left to go. We have 2 DVDs that sold here. We have Sabrina the Teenage Witch Season 2, which sold for $6. And we have The Best of the Crab Family, which sold for $5. Okay, so we got all of the individual comics pulled out here. I got the expensive ones. We have Howard the Duck issue number 32 sold for $7. We have G.I. Joe issue number 23 sold for $10, and these are all just separate buyers. These ones all sold from anywhere $4.50 all the way up to about $7. And there is some good ones here. We have DC The Spectre issue number 23. We have Ignition City, Barbed Wire. I have a few of these, so I'm pretty happy that we sold this one. I think I have like 4 duplicates of that one. We got a Sleepwalker, and we have Soulfire. So we're going to go and get all of those packed up and shipped out individually. Next up here, we have these 3. We have Skin Deep issue number 1. And then we have Kabuki issue number 1 and issue number 3 there. And these 3 sold for $20, even though there was the buy 2 get 1 coupon that he did apply. Still a $20 order plus shipping. And the last comic bundle we have here is, you know, cheaper comics. They all sold for $4.50. They're all Outcast issues. We have 29, 28, 30, and 41. The buyer only ended up paying like $9 in shipping, and that's pretty much exactly what it's going to cost me. And Canada Post Letter Mail was the cheapest because this buyer is all the way out in Nova Scotia. So that's, you know, cheapest rate other than Canada Post was like $17. So Canada Post is coming in cheapest here at Lettermail. If I wanted to go even do a tracked package through Canada Post, it was like 20. So Lettermail it is for these. Well, we figured out the problem. So you can see I have the top part taken off there. It just would not accept that that update file. So what I did is I went ahead and swapped out the hard drive. I had a PS3 one laying around. So I think this one's like a 1 terabyte. I think this one's only like a 250. So I'm going to have to make sure that in the listing they know this isn't the original drive. I don't want to go and buy a new one, especially because I had one sitting around and I got the console to boot. Obviously, I'll go through and do more tests. I'll run games and stuff like that, make sure the disk drive works. But I am probably just going to sell it like this. You know, I don't want to sell it for parts because it is working, but the SSD or the hard drive, whatever, is just way, way smaller than what it normally comes with. So maybe I'll even take a photo of it showing like the available storage and then post that in the listing as well. Okay, so I did end up getting the console to work, but it's been a bit of a pain. So I have Ethernet and that is not working very well either. I think the best thing we can do is just sell this thing for parts. I'll leave in this hard drive, but the Wi-Fi isn't working. It has to be Ethernet. It looks like the disk drive is working, but the rollers were really slow to go ahead and pick that game up. I just don't think this is a good idea to sell this one as used because someone is going to claim that, you know, something isn't working, right? So they maybe they know the Wi-Fi doesn't work and the disk drive is slow, but maybe there's another part in here that doesn't work and then we end up getting a return. I just don't think it's really worth it. I think we're just going to list this for parts. And I just don't have the tools or the know-how, I guess, to diagnose every single thing that could be wrong with this. There we go. Okay, so it did actually spit it out, but it did do one cycle of rolling and nothing came out. Then it stopped, did it again, and then eventually the disc came out. So I think we are just going to sell this for parts. The next console is the PS3, and this one is actually working perfectly fine. I went ahead and factory reset it already, and this one is good to go ahead and get listed. Now, I don't normally list these ones with any controllers or anything. I just go ahead and do the power cable and the console, and that is it. PS4 is all wiped and ready to go. And then this is the one good Xbox 360. I really don't know what I'm even going to list this one for. I've sold a few of them on Facebook Marketplace for like 30 bucks. They really don't go for a whole lot. And because they're so heavy, I really don't know if they'll sell on eBay. And then I also have the one that has the red ring of death. And this one is probably just going to go garbage. I'll take a look on eBay and see if anyone's selling them for parts, maybe just the hard drive because that'll be light, easy to ship. But I just can't imagine people are selling these or buying these. Got the original Xbox plugged in. Let's go ahead and test the disk drive, and that is not great. I actually do have some rubber bands that I think will fix this issue. A bag of these little rubber bands, and it works on pretty much every console. I used it on the 360, use it on the original Xbox. Obviously, I guess not PlayStation 3 and up, but you can see what happens to these rubber bands is they become like an oval shape and they should be circular. Went ahead and replaced it there. Let's go ahead and see if this thing works now. Moment of truth. So, power it up. And look at that. Having those rubber bands just saved me from pretty much listing this thing for parts. We have an original Xbox game. This one is really scratched, so I want to go ahead and test it. This was one of the ones that I got in this bigger bundle that we just picked up. And let's go ahead and see if this thing is going to read. But I've had those rubber bands sitting on my desk for over a year and a half, and I've only used one of them. So being able to use another one feels really good. And I mean, this bag, I think it was like a few dollars on Amazon. And look at that, it is booting up. So now we know the console works. It didn't come with any controllers. I had to use my own, but it looks like the disk drive also works. And this game that I already listed looks like it works as well, which is just amazing. So now that we are done with the PlayStation 4, we can go ahead and package up this remote. Did sell for $28 plus quite a bit in shipping. Might be able to profit a little bit there. And since we've been talking, we also did sell another hockey card for $2.70. This is that hockey card that sold here. We have Sanderson on the Oilers, and this one sold for $2.70. And we also did just have one more come in. We have Lego Batman 3 for the PlayStation 3. This one sold for $4.50. Well, I think that is going to do it for today's video. We have all of the Lettermail orders packed up. There's so many hockey cards down there. Comics, cases, games, movies, all the track stuff ready to go. Went ahead and tested the consoles. I'm not going to list them in today's video. I'm going to get that done probably tomorrow. Same with the controllers. I'm really not sure what I'm going to do with those controllers, how I'm going to test them. But we did get pretty much everything done that I wanted to. I have like 3 or 4 of these games left that I'm going to list, and everything's going to go on the shelf. But mainly this video was about packing up the orders, and that's exactly what we did. So if you guys enjoyed this video, go ahead and smash the like button and subscribe so you don't miss any more future content. And we just had another order come through. We have Conan the Barbarian issue number 100 newsstand variant. This one sold for $17 plus another $5 in shipping.